How Bruce Lee died?
They said it was a couple. They
Yeah.
said he upset it because of his success in the film industry and taking the martial arts around the world, that he upset it, the triads, mafia
No.
organization.
No.
Okay, that wasn't true. The others said that he was fighting a curse that was.
No.
Nope, that's not
No.
true.
Not
Okay.
true.
Most people see Jackie Chan as a stuntman or comedy action legend, but few realize he's a serious martial artist, trained in multiple Shaolin styles, including Crane style, and highly skilled in Hapkido. That's exactly why Bruce Lee noticed him. Bruce didn't just work with Jackie, he respected him. He saw real discipline and real fighting skill, which is why he personally chose Jackie to appear in several of his films. Years later, Jackie finally revealed what it was truly like to meet Bruce Lee, train with him, and take hits from him on set. And one story he tells changes everything we think we know about Bruce Lee. This isn't a myth or a rumor, it's Jackie Chan speaking from experience, revealing a shocking truth few have ever heard. When two legends move toward the same moment in history, a collision feels inevitable. In the early 1970s, the world of kung fu cinema was exploding, and two names rose above all others: Bruce Lee and Jackie Chan. Each followed a different path, yet both embodied a level of discipline, skill, and charisma that captivated audiences worldwide. Their meeting wasn't planned, it felt destined. At the time, Bruce Lee was redefining martial arts on screen. Between 1971 and 1973, his films ignited a global revolution, transforming kung fu movies from a regional genre into an international phenomenon. While martial arts cinema already existed in Chinese film, Lee's arrival changed everything. With the release of The Big Boss in 1971, audiences witnessed something entirely new: speed, power, and intensity, unlike anything before. Bruce Lee became a cultural force almost overnight. Meanwhile, Jackie Chan was quietly developing his own identity. His style, blending martial arts mastery with timing, physical comedy, and daring stunts, would go on to shape the genre for decades. Though fate never allowed the two men to share the screen for long, their influence became inseparable in the history of action cinema. Together, they represent two sides of the same legend. The story becomes even more fascinating when their lives finally intersect. Jackie Chan's first encounters with Bruce Lee would leave a lasting impression, one that changed how he saw martial arts, filmmaking, and himself. Their brief crossing marked a moment that would echo through martial arts cinema forever. Their journeys began worlds apart. Bruce Lee was born in San Francisco but raised in Hong Kong, growing up amid unrest and street violence that pushed him toward discipline and self-mastery. His father introduced him to Tai Chi, and by 16, Bruce was studying Wing Chun under the legendary Ip Man. That foundation would later fuel a revolution, one that Jackie Chan would witness up close at the very start of his own rise. At the same time, Bruce Lee was sharpening his skills far beyond traditional kung fu. While studying at St. Francis Xavier's College, he trained in Western boxing and obsessively explored other disciplines like jiu-jitsu and judo. He constantly studied great fighters, drawing inspiration from figures such as Muhammad Ali. For Bruce, martial arts were about efficiency, realism, and what truly worked in a real fight. Jackie Chan's path was very different. After struggling in regular school, he was enrolled at the Peking Opera School, a harsh but transformative environment. There, he trained relentlessly in martial arts, acrobatics, music, and dance. Styles like wushu, karate, and judo became part of his daily routine, and his natural athleticism quickly stood out. His acrobatic talent earned him a place in the school's elite performance group, and later, as he entered the film industry, he continued training until earning a black belt in Hapkido. Although both men were highly skilled, their focus diverged. Jackie Chan shaped his martial arts around performance, using speed, rhythm, and daring stunts to entertain. Bruce Lee, by contrast, pursued pure combat effectiveness. In terms of practical fighting intensity, Bruce clearly held the edge, while Jackie mastered turning martial arts into cinematic spectacle. Their paths briefly crossed during Bruce Lee's films. Before becoming a star, Jackie Chan worked as a stuntman in Fist of Fury and later Enter the Dragon. In one scene, Bruce accidentally struck Jackie in the face with a stick. Bruce finished the take, then immediately rushed over to apologize sincerely. Jackie later joked that he played up the injury just to get attention from his idol. But the moment mattered. Bruce remembered him, spoke with him on set, and even gave him more stunt work afterward. At first, Jackie Chan was positioned as the man who might replace Bruce Lee. After Lee's sudden death in 1973, Hong Kong studios were desperate to fill the void, and Chan seemed like a natural choice. But it didn't take long for filmmakers, and Jackie himself, to realize that his true brilliance wasn't in imitation, but in invention. Chan has openly said that working with Bruce Lee deeply shaped him, especially Lee's dedication and intensity. It was Bruce who inspired Jackie's commitment to performing his own stunts, a practice that would later define his career. Yet when studios pushed him to copy Lee's fighting style, Jackie refused. In his autobiography, Never Grow Up, he explained that Bruce Lee was irreplaceable, and pretending otherwise would only hold him back. Though both men shared roots in Wing Chun, their paths quickly diverged. Bruce Lee focused on speed, power, and real-world combat efficiency. Jackie Chan, influenced by Northern and Southern Shaolin Kung Fu, leaned into acrobatics, creativity, and improvisation. His fighting became fluid, playful, and unpredictable, something entirely his own. That decision changed everything. By forging a unique style that blended martial arts, daring stunts, and comedy, Jackie Chan became an icon in his own right. Audiences didn't see him as the next Bruce Lee. They saw him as something new. As Jackie Chan's fame reached new heights, he remained determined to protect Bruce Lee's legacy, especially when it came to the conspiracy theories surrounding Lee's sudden death. Chan repeatedly spoke out to shut down rumors, insisting that the truth mattered and that Bruce Lee's memory deserved respect, not speculation. Although both men shared roots in Wing Chun, their styles evolved very differently. Bruce Lee focused on speed, power, and efficiency, while Jackie Chan, shaped by Northern and Southern Shaolin training, developed a more acrobatic, improvisational approach. That difference became key to Chan's success. Once filmmakers allowed him to blend martial arts with comedy and daring stunts, it was clear he wasn't meant to replace Bruce Lee. He was meant to be himself. Jackie has never shied away from comparisons. When asked who would win in a fight if both were in their prime, his answer was immediate and humble. Bruce Lee, no doubt. He praised Lee's extraordinary physical condition, strength, and anatomy, joking that while he might be taller, Bruce's muscle and power were on another level. Having worked as a stuntman on Lee's films, Chan also remembered him as humble and kind, noting that much of Bruce Lee's myth was exaggerated by others. With humor, he once joked that if people wanted exaggeration, he could invent Jackie Kundo, but quickly brushed the idea aside. Bruce Lee's talents and interests reached far beyond his reputation as a fighter. He was deeply intellectual, with a relentless curiosity about the world. While studying at the University of Washington, he explored drama, philosophy, and psychology, immersing himself in ideas that would later shape both his martial arts philosophy and his approach to life. He was an avid reader, building an extensive personal library with a strong focus on philosophy and martial arts theory. Buddhism and Taoism had a particularly powerful influence on Bruce Lee. These belief systems shaped his worldview and inspired much of his writing. Lee often expressed his thoughts through free-verse poetry, using words to explore balance, self-knowledge, and the practical application of philosophy in everyday life. His writing revealed a man as committed to mental discipline as he was to physical mastery. Less known, but just as revealing, was Bruce Lee's passion for dance. As a teenager in Hong Kong, he trained seriously in cha-cha dancing and even won a dance competition at age 18. He approached dance with the same rigor he applied to martial arts, keeping a notebook filled with more than 100 carefully drawn sketches of dance movements. To Lee, rhythm, balance, and fluid motion were universal principles, whether in combat or on the dance floor. Jackie Chan's creative range also extended well beyond action cinema. Like Lee, Jackie Chan developed his talents through rigorous training, this time at the Peking Opera School, where music and performance were central. In the 1980s, he successfully entered the music industry, recording albums and singing the theme songs for many of his films. His music career grew alongside his acting, allowing him to connect with audiences in a different way. Chan's musical abilities eventually placed him on some of the world's biggest stages, including a performance at the closing ceremony of the 2008 Beijing Olympics. Whether through martial arts, comedy, or music, Jackie Chan proved himself to be a multifaceted entertainer, just as Bruce Lee had demonstrated that true mastery goes far beyond physical strength alone. In a revealing 1997 interview, Jackie Chan spoke candidly about the influence Bruce Lee had on his life and career. Chan made it clear that his admiration went far beyond Lee's physical skills. What impressed him most was Lee's presence, his confidence, the way he spoke, his charisma, and the quiet authority behind every movement. To Chan, Bruce Lee wasn't just powerful. He was commanding in a way that couldn't be faked. Watching Lee up close also taught Chan a harder lesson: the crushing pressure that comes with being a martial arts icon. Bruce Lee was constantly scrutinized, expected to be flawless, almost superhuman. Chan realized early on that chasing that image could be dangerous. Instead of trying to be a superhero, he learned the importance of staying grounded, accepting limits, and focusing on growth rather than perfection. That realization shaped Chan's career, pushing him to embrace his own strengths instead of imitating someone else's legend. This perspective became central to how Jackie Chan built his identity. He chose authenticity over imitation, comedy over solemnity, and creativity over comparison. By learning from the pressure Bruce Lee carried, Chan found a way to thrive without being consumed by expectations, an insight he has often credited as one of Lee's greatest unspoken teachings. Years later, Chan also addressed the darker myths surrounding Bruce Lee's death. In interviews, including one on Sway's Universe, he spoke with visible disbelief about the conspiracy theories that had circulated for decades, rumors involving secret societies, curses, and hidden enemies. To Chan, these stories were absurd. Having worked in Hong Kong's film industry and known the environment firsthand, he insisted that the truth was far less sensational than people wanted to believe. With calm certainty, Jackie Chan dismissed the speculation, explaining that many of the rumors came from outsiders who didn't understand the realities of Hong Kong at the time. His tone wasn't defensive, it was protective. Even decades later, Chan seemed driven by the same motivation: to honor Bruce Lee not as a myth, but as a real man whose legacy didn't need exaggeration to remain powerful. The official autopsy ultimately ruled Bruce Lee's death as death by misadventure, a term used when a fatal outcome results from an unintended reaction or risk rather than foul play. According to medical findings, Lee had been suffering from intense headaches, similar to an episode he experienced earlier during the filming of Enter the Dragon. On that earlier occasion, he collapsed and suffered seizures. Doctors diagnosed him with cerebral edema, a dangerous swelling of the brain. After treatment, he appeared to recover quickly and returned to work, seemingly back to full strength. In July 1973, the headaches returned. This time, Lee was given a painkiller containing meprobamate. Unbeknownst to those around him, he suffered a severe allergic reaction. The brain swelling returned, this time fatally. That sequence of events is what authorities later described as a tragic misadventure rather than a crime. Even so, unanswered questions lingered. Lee was found unresponsive at a friend's apartment, but details were never fully clarified publicly. Over time, speculation centered on Taiwanese actress Betty Ting Pei, who was widely rumored to have been romantically involved with Lee. Decades later, she confirmed the affair and announced plans to publish a memoir detailing their relationship. Her admission reignited old suspicions, including darker rumors involving jealousy and outside influence, claims that were never proven. Observers have noted that Jackie Chan, when speaking about Lee's death in interviews, often appeared restrained but visibly unsettled. While he avoided direct accusations, his tone suggested lingering frustration over how the truth had been distorted by speculation. For Chan, the tragedy didn't need embellishment. It was already devastating. Despite the mystery surrounding his final hours, Bruce Lee's legacy is unmistakable. In a life cut short at just 32, he transformed global culture. He introduced Chinese martial arts to mainstream Western audiences and redefined how Asian men were portrayed in American media, strong, charismatic, and uncompromising. His films sparked an international kung fu explosion and inspired generations of action stars. Beyond cinema, Lee's creation of Jeet Kune Do, a philosophy centered on adaptability, efficiency, and freedom from rigid forms, changed combat sports forever. Many regard him as a spiritual father of modern mixed martial arts, influencing the evolution of organizations like the Ultimate Fighting Championship. His ideas continue to echo through gyms, octagons, and dojos worldwide. Popular culture still pays tribute to him. Films like Kill Bill borrow from his visual language and intensity, while the Ip Man franchise draws directly from the world that shaped him. While Jackie Chan became a legend in his own right, Bruce Lee remains singular, a bridge between East and West, action and philosophy, body and mind. His power wasn't just in how he fought, but in what he stood for. Decades later, his influence is still alive, still challenging limits, and still inspiring the world.